It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys. Well, I didn't want to just do a Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. So instead, we're bringing hot, messy topics back on Mondays and also Fridays. We have a lot coming your way and even more housewife interviews. You know that I don't really talk about them until we have them because you never know. But the point is, we're back to talk about some interesting topics that have been happening over the past few weeks. From Lisa Rinna and Kathy Hilton to this doxing situation, obviously the Atlanta recap, but then also the situation with Britney Spears and Andy Cohen spilling some housewives tea and the Teresa Giudice wedding that has been changed, but also leaked. Guys, I dropped the link in the live chat, so you guys can go ahead and click it. I pinned it to the top, and you guys can join the conversation if you'd like. And if you're just coming into the room, don't forget to smash that like button. Now, before we get into all of this, almost 100 in the room. Hi, guys. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who's joined memberships. Our first video that we dropped for memberships, not only do you get badges and special emojis, but thank you to everyone for the support to keep our channel going. A lot of people have been asking me, how do I go on and join? Well, I wanted to share this really quick. That way you guys can see. That way we kind of put this one to bed. So this is the behind the scenes for the Jen Shah interview. You guys can see that. But if you guys want to go on and join, all you have to do is go to the main page and click right here, join. And then obviously you'd have to be signed in. But you join to become a member. That's it. Pretty simple. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me anytime. Now, I was just getting all of the information ready and thinking, what did we talk about today? Of course, we have our other topics, but TMZ just came out with a video and All About the Real Housewives just posted it. And it's of Joe Gorga and it's not painting him in the best light. So let's share that. I need some callers to talk about this. Hold on. Here we go. Wait.
Fucking years. The sledgehammer. Grab it. Where is it? Where's the sledgehammer, Joe?
Fucking years.
Go get it. I paid you.
Fucking rent.
The state paid you.
4 fucking years.
The state paid you.
Nowhere to live, and I fucking gave
no,
you fucking
the
house.
state paid you. You got paid. I'm losing. Go grab the sledgehammer.
You're a fucking loser.
Yeah, grab the sledgehammer.
You're a fucking
Keep
loser.
coming to do this to me. This is what you do.
That's what pay you fucking rent.
Pay my rent.
Fucking years, you fucking
I paid.
Oh.
It got paid. It got paid. It got paid. You don't fix. Yeah, okay. Yeah, drugs. I wish. I'm selling drugs. You're spitting in my face. Look at the car I'm driving. Look at the car I'm driving.
Fucking loser.
Who's complaining?
Fucking
I didn't do anything.
I helped you.
I owe you from January till now, I said. That's what I owe you. What's so hard? And you told, and your boy told me that you told him not to fucking fix anything in the apartment.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, he did. That's exactly
Oh
what I said.
my gosh.
You got money? Pay. Come on.
Yes, the state's gonna pay it. You won't sign the paper. No, grab the sledgehammer, not your phone. Grab the sledgehammer again. Fuck me what? Fuck me what? You do have to, Joe.
I think that's enough of that. Okay, so we just saw where Trish said the tenant owes like $50,000. I'm going to get more information on this, but Joe Gorga is not happy. Now, since we kicked this off and we're talking about Joe Gorga, I do see some callers in the room already. I wanted to talk about this whole situation that went down with Ramona Singer leaking Teresa Giudice's and Louis' wedding invitation. On the wedding invitation, it not only shows the date, the time, the place, but she did it and she posted it all over social media. After she did it, Teresa was like, what did you just do? Take this down. And a rep for Ramona Singer told Page 6 that she apologized for it, which Teresa said did not happen. Now, we know that Louis always kind of balances Teresa out and calms her down. But apparently, Louis was like, she's a good person. There was no malicious intent behind this. And I'm sure that's probably exactly what happened. She just posted it thinking, wow, oh my gosh, wow, Teresa, this is crazy. Look at this wedding invitation. I get invited to weddings all the time. But I mean, wow. Like that, and it got out there. So she was trying to figure out, do I want to change what I'm going to do with my wedding plans, or do I want to amp up security? I think with knowing how sometimes obsessive the Bravo Housewives fans can be, I think that it was smart to change the location or add security, because people get so excited about these housewives. If you saw Teresa Giudice going into the softball charity event at Dolores Catania's well, this was Dolores's event. If you saw it on the show, you didn't get to see all of the fans outside waiting, and they were lined up screaming for Teresa. Even one of her good friends, Dina Manzo, has said in the past that Teresa has a fandom like no other, which is kind of mind-blowing that so many people are that excited to see Teresa, but she's been an OG and she's been around for quite some time. She's right up there with Nene Leakes, Bethany Frankel, Lisa Vanderpump. It's like, I get it. The fandom is crazy, and I don't mean crazy in the worst way, but sometimes it can be. I remember working for LVP in one of her restaurants, and people would do anything just to get up next to her, grab at her, pull at her. And sometimes it was the cringiest shit that you're looking at, and you're like, she's still a person. What are you doing? Why are you putting your hands on someone that you don't even know? But they just get so excited. Now, for Teresa, we're hearing, and this is according to a blind item, she was going back and forth as to whether or not she wanted to even film her wedding. Well, if she films it, then there are a lot of write-offs involved. So I was figuring she probably would. But she was asking Andy Cohen and the network to give her her own special, her own spinoff for the wedding, just like they gave Nene and also Candy. But that's not what happened. They want to film this for the show. So now I'm guessing, since the wedding was originally set for August 6th, and they've changed those details now, and I'm sure we're not going to know until it happens, or at least they're claiming that they changed the details. That's what Melissa Gorga said. I'm guessing that this will probably be the finale for the next season. That kind of sounds like a no-brainer, but I want to hear some of your opinions on what happened. Do you think that Ramona meant to do this, or do you think that this was just a mishap and it's true Ramona fashion to just F shit up, not meaning to? Guys, we're going to go ahead and start with some of our first callers. I want to know what you think about that, but also what you think about the Joe Gorga TMZ video. Let's start with Larger Curves.
OMG, Adam, you look so good. I missed you so much.
Oh my gosh. Wow. We'll keep you around anytime.
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. I missed you in the mornings. I know you was doing things for the last couple of months, doing your tour and doing your other stuff. And so we didn't get to have you in the morning. So I am just blessed and truly having a good time with my cup of coffee and up and at.
Hey, better to be up and at 'em than down and out.
I call the people in the chat the uppers.
The uppers.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so funny because when we first started this channel, it was Adam's Angels. Some people tried to say Adam's Apples, and now it's the Adams family. And now I'm hearing uppers. I just love this community so much. So I'll take whatever we can get.
I love it too. But you know what I don't love is that Joe didn't get his rent for 4 years. I mean, the Rona was only for 2. So that means he must have been making a payment plan with the man for 2 years before the Rona. And that's on Joe. That's on Joe. If he was getting the rent for 2 years before there was no reason to pay rent.
I wonder if Joe was trying to be nice at first and not put this man out on the street and trying to like give him some passes, but then maybe the man was kind of dipping out and trying not to be caught by Joe. But one of the things the scariest thing is when someone puts a camera in your face and you're at that level, there's like no turning back. We know that Giudices and the Gorgas and all of them, we have some hot tempers over in New Jersey. It's inevitable. We see it. But this was a moment where I'm like, oh, Joe, even if he owes you some money, this is probably not the best look on you.
Yeah, that look was no bueno. But it was all his self-guilt. He knew he let that man slide for way too long. Way too long. And then going to try to pull a sledgehammer out. Whatever. Joe.
What are you going to do with the sledgehammer?
Make some more bills for the man that he can't pay by busting a window or something. I don't know.
And the thing that I didn't necessarily understand about, you remember when they were doing that whole situation of putting the rent off, right? For people during the pandemic who couldn't pay. What I didn't get was I had a few friends who they put off their rent for like 4 or 5 months, especially in California, because everything stayed shut down for the longest time. And then at the end of it, you get a bill not only for your rent that you owe that month, but then you have to figure out some sort of payment plan to pay back those last 5 months, which is like, how can anybody come out of debt on something like that?
Exactly. At least here in California, though, we had that option. So it kept people housed a little longer. But you're totally right. Anybody that has to come up off of all that rent at one time, you're in a way worse situation.
I mean, thinking about it, like my rent alone, I think was around $2,500 in California. So if you do that and you times that by 5, like what are we looking at? It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then 5 months. So it's $12,500.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
No,
Along with now the gas is what, $7 a gallon out here?
No, it's crazy. I just had to, Jason and I just went and got rid of, we had a really nice Jeep that we got excited about getting, last year. And we were thinking, this is cool. We could take the top off and we can have the dogs in it. And the gas prices, even in Florida, just keep going higher and higher. And I was like, this is kind of out of control. Like, I can't, some people are putting $150 a week in their car. I don't get how people can survive. But
I have a big old car, and mine is like at least it was 119 the last time I filled up. And I'm working from home now. So thankfully there's that. But a shout out to all the people making it happen, right? But freaking Joe, Melissa needs to break him off. He's acting like he has some pent up poison. Remember, he used to tell Melissa, I got to get this poison out of me. I got to get this poison. Maybe Melissa needs to break him off something proper, and he won't go around threatening tenants that he let slide for 4 years.
Well, Larja, I also want to talk about this for a second, because what was Ramona thinking when she was leaking the wedding invite? And do you think that Teresa and Louis made because let's be real, we saw the wedding invitation. Wedding invitations are not cheap, especially not when it comes with a cake and this this invitation that you can see through and it looks like it was etched in. Like, this probably cost a lot of money. So Ramona, I would be sending her ass a bill. I'd be like, listen, Ramona, you're chipping in on these wedding invitations because you leaked all of this information. And now the guests are probably, I'm sure there were at least a few who felt really unsafe and uncomfortable going to a wedding that would be that highly publicized that now everyone knows the details for.
I know. I mean, if she wanted her friend to call off the wedding, she just should tell Teresa. But leaking the details like that so something could potentially happen is a whole other level of Ramona. And she knew exactly what she was doing. She did that the way Lisa Rinna left the number on the people's thing the other day, trying to dox these people. That was on purpose. She's in the limelight. She knows the importance of privacy issues. So that was an on purpose move. I'm not giving her a pass. I don't give Ramona no passes. She did it on purpose. And I think that she must not want Teresa to marry the boy. And that, like I said, she needs to just tell her so instead of ruining her wedding like that.
Well, so Larja, while I have you on the phone, I love this. I miss everybody. I want to ask you about this doxing situation because we do have Patrick and Kathy and Lisa, and this story has changed so many times. Now, I've said this in my pre-records multiple times that I'm not blaming anyone in particular here. I'm trying to understand the situation. But when it comes to Patrick, one thing I don't necessarily love is someone who flip-flops with their stories, because if you tell one story and then you all of a sudden change it. So, I was hired by Kathy Hilton, or the last name rhymes with Milton, in order to take Lisa Rinna down. I was paid something to the effect of $27,000. And then you retract that statement and say, actually, that's not true. I was good friends with Lisa Rinna. And you know what? Her and I concocted this plan and it went south really quick. I didn't know she was going to post my number on a public forum. My question is, and I always go back to what Emily D. Baker says, is when she was a prosecutor, she would go with the whole rule of, were you lying then or are you lying now? What time, where were you lying here? And how do we even know if we can believe you?
It's hard to see who we can believe in that situation. I'm just going with my guts. And to me, my guts say that, yes, Kathy probably said what she said because based off of what her daughter has said in the past, like they got it from somewhere. But that as far as this whole contrived situation, I don't know. We haven't really seen Lisa fabricate stories to this extent with as much stuff as she stirs. She hasn't had to have a whole other person get in on it. So I don't really know. I don't know. I want to believe Patrick. That was not cool for her to put his number up there like that.
But then he lost all credibility because he ended up doxing her back.
Yeah. Well, hey, you get what you give. The golden rule, huh? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, Lisa Rinna.
Well, so now Patrick just came out and he did that Instagram video where he was talking about, like, this is what happened. And he's like this 20-year-old guy who claims that he has all of these high profile clients. I don't know how much of this is true, but he comes from Utah and he's saying that he has passed off a lot of the receipts that he wasn't able to share on social media off to another Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member. And hopefully she will use those receipts at the reunion. But then he followed that by, also, guys, I was leaving my office in Beverly Hills and the paparazzi were outside and they caught me and they have photos of me. So just to let you guys know, I just got my wisdom teeth taken out. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like,
over the place. He's all over the place.
You're all over the place.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see by Lisa's response too, right? Like if Lisa's like, this is slander, this is like, like he's lying. Like we'll have to see what she hasn't really said that he's a liar face yet. She hasn't said it.
I know I have a few friends who are really close to Lisa Rinna, and I've heard that Lisa Rinna and Erika Girardi, their contracts are coming to an end after this season. They signed 4-year contracts, and after this season, they don't know if they're going to be asked back. So I'm wondering, because when he says, listen, this was all in an attempt for Lisa to have the storyline going into next season, I'm thinking in my head, well, is it? Because really, Andy could put this to bed at the reunion and it not even play out into next season. Right. Or would it be something for next season? And is she trying to secure that role? Because we know that every single year that the women sign on, they get bonuses and they get more and more expensive. And Bravo has a bad habit of taking those people that they've overpaid and they end up cutting them off, letting them go. And then they bring in new people like Noella Bergener, who's a total fangirl. And when you bring them on, all the fans are like disappointed because we're like, we can read through the fact that you're a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but you know what? I would like if Lisa and Erika had to go. They'll let them go. Lisa has not had an authentic storyline in ever. Her entire storyline consists of taking down the other women by their ankles. I mean, I want to know where Harry Hamlin is. I want to know something other than her using her daughters and all their issues. I want to know, like, what is she doing besides trying to keep the rats from coming out of the floor? Like, I want to know what is she doing? We really don't get an insight into her life. So if she doesn't come back and she has to do her old standby, which is yet again, make up some other mess about Kathy Hilton. And now we have this, she would let Patrick do all this stuff, huh? Now that you mention it, she would let Patrick do all this if it means that she's going to secure a diamond for next season. She would. She would.
If you're going with your gut feeling, do you think that Patrick is thirsty and he's just a random who ended up getting access to Lisa Rinna's number and then concocted this whole plan on his own to get some social media fame for 15 seconds? Or do you think that Lisa Rinna was behind this to some degree and it just got out of control? If you're going with your gut.
My gut says it got out of control. That's what my gut says. But the access is an interesting question too. If I go too far into it, I would have to ask some other questions. But my gut is saying that, so he played with either Lisa or Kathy to do something, and it blew up in his face. And him being a 20-year-old doesn't know how to handle it. And he's saying too many words, less words, more receipts. Get a binder like Monique Samuels, dude. And
nobody has been able to deliver the binder like Monique Samuels.
Right?
Nobody.
I want to believe him because I want somebody to take Lisa down. I want somebody to do it. And it would be fabulous if it could be a whole outside person that she thought was working for her. Wouldn't that be fabulous?
I mean, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about Beverly Hills really quick, though. There was another blind item that came out on All About the Real Housewives, who also just shared that TMZ video. And in that blind item, people are wondering, or there's someone out there claiming this rumor that Lisa Rinna is protected by Bravo as long as she continues to stir the pot for the other cast members and keep the storylines moving. So then they won't dive into too much when it comes to her. But my other question too is, even if Kathy Hilton said something bad about Kyle Richards, they are sisters and they've been able to put this to bed. I'm surprised how quiet Kyle Richards has been. And she's really not saying anything negative about Lisa. And Lisa's out here claiming that Kathy Hilton is a homophobic racist, and then also saying the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Right. Go look at the receipts of Paris Hilton in a video, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. That's still Kyle Richards' niece. So it makes me wonder, does Lisa Rinna have something on you too, to where you're not going to open your mouth?
I don't know that anybody needs anything on Kyle. Think about how Kyle has traditionally treated her blood relatives. She will cut their knees off to stay on this show. She did it to her sister, and she did it the second time when her sister came back on. So it's no freaking far-fetched reach for her to not support this sister. She ganged up on Kim with the other ladies and got Kim off the show. And now she's not supporting this other blood sister who you've been crying about for the last 10 years. She needs to make it make more sense. You know what I'm saying? Either you want your sister and you miss her and you're about your family, or you want this fame and these diamonds, girl. You got to pick one. And it's really sad that people forego their families for fame. But hey, something got to pay the bills.
I mean, I feel like that's every reality TV show ever. But Larja, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and add some other callers. And if you are still here in the room, I would love to bring you back to talk about some more of this ish going on.
No worries. I will stay in the back then.
Right.
Okay.
See you in a minute.
Okay.
All right, guys, we have over 300 in the room, so go ahead, smash that like button, show some love, and hey to Rob J in the city, who's a new member. I wanted to acknowledge that. Thank you, Rob, and you guys definitely have to let me know what you think about the behind the scenes from our trip to Salt Lake City with Jen Shaw. I know I put that down at the bottom in the banner, but it was an interesting trip. We filmed from getting on the airport to the night before, everything that kind of transpired and getting ready for the interview. Also, Noelle, thank you so much. She became a member as well. So I just want to acknowledge our new members, and I can't wait to see some of these like little emojis and stuff pop up. We will continue to add more stuff though. Now, getting back to it. I wanted to talk about our next topic because while Teresa Giudice is trying to figure out where to move her wedding to, the date, the time, the location, we had another wedding that, well, transpired over the last week. And that would be Britney Spears. Britney Spears finally married Sam, and I'm curious what that prenup looks like because at one point we were hearing that Britney was trying to figure out how to, I guess, navigate the prenup in the sense that Sam wanted X amount for every few years that he was married to Britney. I don't necessarily understand with him coming in. Obviously, you're marrying Britney Spears. That's going to present opportunities for you, just like Pete Davidson being with Kim Kardashian and rumored to be getting his own show. I'm sure Kris Jenner is working in overtime to keep him happy now that he's left SNL and to make sure that her new boyfriend's working. But the point is, opportunities will present themselves for Sam. Okay. So now why do you feel entitled after you've watched this woman? She's been taken to the bank by her family. She's been locked down. She can't pick the color of her cabinets. She couldn't choose to have a baby. She was locked in her room, fed with like a tray. And now you're still going to want a prenup where it's saying that you get X amount for every few years that you're married to her. I think that's the most beyond ridiculous situation ever, but it's not more beyond than this situation. We know that her ex-husband, well, he live streamed himself breaking into her house, going through the yard, and he had a knife. And he's like, where's Britney? I want to know where Britney is. Who the hell is your security team? Who are the people that are supposed to be protecting you that are allowed? They had you locked up in like Fort Knox for the longest time, and they treated her like hell, and nobody could get to her. Where is that security team? And how is this man able to get onto the yard, onto the property, into the house, and run up and down the stairs, getting close enough to her bedroom with a knife? This is ridiculous. And she even said that she had anxiety during that day, and who knows if she was even privy to any of this information. We know that they're issuing a protective order, and he did spend the weekend in jail. His family has not bailed him out. I don't think anybody wants to bail him out at the moment. But the good thing is she got married. She transformed her backyard into this beautiful like little situation. It was everything that she wanted. She had her first ride in a Rolls Royce. We obviously see Donatella Versace there. We saw Drew Barrymore, Selena Gomez, Paris Hilton, and even Kathy Hilton made it to the wedding. I don't know if this is necessarily going to last with the way that he's treating this whole situation with the prenup, and I'm so curious what the terms were. But if you had to guess, do you think that Sam worked something into that prenup to make sure that he is going to get paid for every single day that he lasts with Britney Spears? I mean, I know right now this is total conspiracy, and I'm sure those documents will come out in the future, especially if they don't make it. But for Britney Spears, I think I can speak on behalf of everyone. After everything that she's been through, we're rooting for her from the side. I hope she takes her family to the bank. I hope she sues the hell out of all of them. And I hope this marriage lasts because I just want to see her in the best situation possible. We know that she was pregnant for a couple of months and then she lost her baby. All she wants is to have another baby. She wants to kind of get her life back to normal. And after being on lockdown for as long as she was, I think that's going to take some time. But let's bring up some callers. Hi, Krista.
Hey.
Good morning, afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Okay, so what are your thoughts about Britney marrying Sam? And do you think Sam is an opportunist here, or do you think that this is real love? And if it is real love, then why is he trying to work into the prenup situation that he gets paid for every few years that he ends up lasting in this marriage with Britney?
I believe that it's real love. I believe that they are both truly in love. I think the prenup I think it might be just him being careful more because of what's happened before. Her family was able to take over her life. And, maybe he's just not too sure that like something like that might not happen again. Or I don't know, we might need more information.
Right. So you think
I believe that it's true love, though. I don't believe he's an opportunist now.
So you think that you're looking at it from a glass half full perspective and saying that he might be looking at this for like, if I'm married to her for X amount of time and her parents do try to lock her down in this conservatorship again, or try to do something or pull some shady shenanigans, that he doesn't have to walk away broke.
Right. I mean, and also we could look at it like, I don't know if she's ever talked about her mental illness herself. Like maybe just like me, like she's in, I fear that something could happen and my husband could lose everything because of me. Or like something, maybe she's fears that like maybe one day, maybe they've had the talk and she's like, just in case my mental health is, I don't know how this is going to affect me in the long run, just let's protect ourselves, because like I said, prenups don't have to be a bad thing. It doesn't have to be one has more than the other or one's trying to get over on the other. It could just be protect both people. They both can have, stake in whatever.
Well,
it can protect both.
Speaking of prenups too, we have a housewife who's about to be the richest on the entire cast because she's about to she's taking Michael Darby to the bank. She's going to have more money than Mia, Dr. Wendy Osefo, Giselle Bryant for sure, Hotel Giselle. She's definitely gonna have more money than her. Robin Dixon, definitely.
She has her babies, and motherhood looks amazing on her. Like she glows now. Like she looks amazing. Like she had babies. She's like glowing. Like I think she is winning 100%. Like I don't think there's any love lost with her. I think that she's extremely disgusted by him and is over his F shit and is like, dude, she gave him so many chances. She excused his behavior. She didn't exactly admit to like whether they had an agreement or not, but she was like, I basically probably said, just don't disrespect me. Don't get caught and don't make me look stupid in public.
Listen, after 8 years of waking up next to Michael Darby, I feel like she should get a fat payday.
I mean, you saw what that butt looked like. Did you see?
Okay. So I do want to ask you the same thing that I was asking Larja, because there are so many opinions on this right now. And I wanted to hear what your thoughts are about this Patrick situation. Do you think that this Patrick guy is looking for 15 minutes, or do you feel like Lisa had some part to do with everything and that he might actually have receipts?
I truly believe that the last video, as we were saying, it's TikTok or something, that story he told, I believe is the true story. I think that they planned this together. I don't know who he is, how they met, but they had each other's number. Okay. So that said something. And I truly believe that story is the last story. Well, I mean, Christ, if he's lying now or if he's lying then, but that's the story that makes the most sense to me.
Right.
Because I don't see Kathy having anything. I said this before, like, why would she have to do that? Or like, why would she even?
I think that Kathy Hilton probably sent his ass a cease and desist and was like, do not mention me or my family ever again. And Hilton money, he's a 20-year-old guy who's claiming that he has these high profile clients. No matter how, we saw his video on Instagram. It wasn't like the best quality. Kathy Hilton's out here building $55 million mansions for fun.
I was kind of like, all right, do I really want to share this? I don't really know if it's like, I don't really want to do, even if it's true, I like Kathy, and then I'm like, this guy has big ones. Cause wow. Cause I'm like, well, and then I'm thinking, how can it not be true? Like, is this guy that nuts? But I could see Lisa being behind him saying, yeah, do this, I'll fix it. Or, I'll make sure you're okay in the end. Just, if it goes left, I'm going to have to throw you under the bus, or, just like, I'll make sure you're compensated. I truly believe that Rinna Lips is behind it and has like a lot to do with what this kid's done. Because, think about it. He could really potentially open himself up to a lot of bad publicity, lawsuits, anything. He really could get himself in a lot of trouble if this is all a lie. If it's all a lie.
Yeah. They can take it. They can take him to the bank, but at the end of the day, you can only take somebody for as much. Like if he doesn't have any real assets or anything, then I don't know what the guy has, but really, what are you going to sue him for?
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would he want to completely ruin his image? If he's really trying to be like this person, or who known to somebody, or whatever, if he was really doing this to like get followers, he would be screwing himself. Like he would have to look at the bigger picture. Like this could potentially really get me in trouble. So I believe his last story when he said, look, now it's getting dangerous for me. I got to tell the truth. Like, here's my receipts. This is the truth. This has gone too far. I believe that story.
And somewhere Lisa Rinna is looking like this.
Right. Yep.
She's
And then
looking
somewhere in
like,
the middle is the truth, right?
oh shit. Oh shit. Okay.
But look, we're still talking about it. It worked.
I mean, you're right. Guys,
It worked.
350 in the room. I did want to ask you, Krista, before we add another caller in here, and you and this other caller love to go back
Is
and
it
forth.
my bestie Joe?
It's your bestie Joe. We're going to bring up
Yay.
Joe. And guys, I dropped in the call-in link, so you guys are more than welcome to call in. I also pinned it to the top. I wanted to ask you, are you watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, or has it lost your interest?
I watched it last night, or I should say, I listened to it last night. I was listening to it. I have thoughts. Are we talking about it or?
Yeah.
I feel I'm starting to really. I like Drew. I would like Drew and Kenya to be friends because I believe that that Kenya truly understands what Drew's husband puts her through because they're the same person. Like their personality is the same.
Ralph
and
Mark.
neither one of them knew how to. When you're getting gaslighted and narcissist, you feel crazy. And Kenya was able to like explain it, and she's like, "I've never been able to say that." So I think they should become friends. But I have a feeling that like Kenya will end up using it against her. And I mean,
Kenya threw her under the bus last night, and she said that you don't have a mind to think for your own. You know?
Oh, right. Wow. I see. Look now. All right. I'm telling you, after the thing, after the shower or the whatever it was with Bola, whatever. Kenya, I would never go anywhere with her. I wouldn't trust her. I would never go to a she's not a girl's girl. Show or not, she legit ratted them all out, and you just don't do that. Like I would never trust her. She's a snitch. So at first I was happy that she was sticking up for Drew. I'm glad that somebody was able to say it, at least say it out loud, whether it stuck them being friends or not. Somebody was able to say it the way that she needed it to be said. And I'm really just disappointed in Kenya because she could have a real friendship right there. Okay. But I also don't understand why they're doing what they're doing to Candy either. Because I feel like Candy has the utmost integrity at least. And like she really doesn't do shady crap.
I mean,
and
calling her a hoe and saying that she sleeps with everybody and she slept with everybody and that's why she dates people under her tax bracket. I mean, let's bring up Joe and see his opinion. Let's see if he agrees with you on something.
Okay.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, I agree with Krista on some things, but actually I haven't watched last night's episode of Atlanta yet. I was just gonna watch it later today. But you know, I don't know. I just haven't really been all that excited in the past few episodes, so it doesn't quite excite me it doesn't make me look forward to watch the next episode. Let's just put it that way.
Well, Joe, what are your thoughts on Sheree Whitfield and staying with Tyrone after she was stood up? And we heard that this was this whole thing was a setup by production. Who knows if that's actually true? But do you think that this is bound to come to an end at some point and that she is way too good for this guy? Or do you think that, yeah, she's still way too good for this guy, but she's going to end up staying with him and making this work?
Oh, it's ending.
Is it?
Okay. So I actually have there's someone that lives in the same area that I'm living in that's actually cousins with Tyrone.
Okay.
Right. And you know, this guy, Tyrone, he's in house arrest. And I think at some point he didn't necessarily want to be part of the filming of the show, and he technically can't leave or be in a certain perimeter outside of where he's currently staying in Philly.
Right.
So the thing about Sheree, and I haven't seen the episode yet, so I don't really know if this actually happened or not. But I think there may have been a part of an episode where she was trying to sit in some sort of restaurant pretending to wait for him, but he was never going to come. But
well, that's what we've heard. That's this moment.
Oh yeah, no, and they're trying to show as if the guy was just bailing on her, but she already knows he wasn't showing up.
Oh,
I'm exaused.
Yeah. So
why
put herself there?
Because at that point, like Sheree already knows that he wasn't going to show up, but I think to save face.
But wait, but she drove there anyway, though. Like
Huh?
she went all the way up there anyway, and sat. You know how far that is?
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
but I mean, they have to make that scene work, or at least figure out
It
a way
didn't
to
work.
close the
It didn't work
close
for her
that
though.
storyline.
That's a shame though. They still made her do that, or I don't know why they did that.
Or no, maybe Sheree wants to do that so she could close that loop of her storyline and move on to something else.
Okay. I mean, all right. We'll see what happens with this. But I kind of agree with you when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's been one of my favorite franchises for the longest time. And this season, I don't know. I know that NeNe has put the nail in the coffin when it comes to her career ever coming back to the Real Housewives, especially with this lawsuit. And I don't know if you guys saw, but the OGs actually sat down and had a conversation. And Kim Zolciak has she said that these claims that NeNe, that she's making, she doesn't necessarily understand them because even Lisa Wu said this, when NeNe talks about other OGs that should be brought back to the show, she always mentions Kim. So if Kim was that problematic, then why is she vouching for Kim to come back to the show? And it makes me think.
I don't. Why you would want Kim back? You think?
Yeah, I mean, why? If Kim really pissed you off and she did all of these horrible things, and we have seen Kim say some very problematic stuff, like things on the show. She has said some things in the past, but then why would you, tease future work projects with her? And why would you also kind of vouch and say, you know what, I think we should bring back Kim?
Maybe just to hype her up, make her think that it would happen, and just knowing that it wouldn't. Maybe just to mess with her. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't trust NeNe. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't know. Like, I like the cast of Atlanta right now. I just feel like it needs to pick up. Like, I think that we could have a great show with this cast. I just feel like I'm disappointed in this whole charade thing. Like, why make her look? I don't understand that. That makes me completely confused why that would happen. But and Tarun, why wouldn't he want to be with her? Okay, I think if he's not with her, it's just because he's on house arrest still or something. She's rich. She's in a mansion. He just got out of prison. What? You'd be an idiot. And plus, he's probably really in love with her, and she probably has put so much time in him that she's going to try to give it say more chances than you usually would anybody else, which is like a double-edged sword because you're like, well, he's a criminal. He'll never change. But then she's put so much time and so much effort into it. Like, why give up yet? But she did say, like, this isn't the first time, that we just didn't know that other stuff was happening. You guys remember, like, she was saying it, I think, to whoever she was on the phone with. And somebody said strike one, and she's like, no, strike like 100. She's not it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to bring up another caller with us in just a second, but I wanted to ask too, and I know I keep flopping back and forth because I want to hear Joe's opinion on this. Joe, do you think now that this Patrick guy has come forward and he says that he's shared all of the receipts with another cast member and that he thinks that this will all come out at the reunion and then everybody will, be apologizing to him and his name will be vindicated. Do you think that that's true? Or do you think that he's still just trying to ride this 15 minutes and maybe he somehow got Lisa's number? Who knows how he got it, but he has no connection with her. What are your thoughts?
To be honest, I don't really care if it's vindicated or not. He's just low budget tea.
Okay. All right. Let's bring up
in your Cheerios, man.
We have
well, no, I mean, like I don't. I mean, I think that the more we talk about this guy, the more he's
true.
I mean,
little things tingled because like, oh, we're talking about him, but I honestly don't think he's got any real connections
to
with
anyone.
Lisa or Kathy. I think
Lisa's not even a real connection anyway. We can't really count her as connection.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to milk this for all it's worth. And we have 337 watching now and 119 likes. Let's hit that like button, guys.
I mean, listen, Joe.
Touche, Joe. You're right. We are giving this guy a like. Let's stop. Let's just agree now. Like, let's not even speak his name again because this is what he wants. We'll call him Vladimir.
Yeah, and yes, caramel kisses, low budget tea. He is.
I mean, okay, so before we bring up Sarah Bahu Baker now with her purple hair, and I'm digging it, I did want to say really quick, Phaedra Parks ended up going on to the Wendy Williams show with host Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport to me is a very interesting character.
Interesting.
To say the least, for sure. But
when
she did, she spoke about this moment where we see her on the Real Housewives of Dubai for a quick second, and she said that she's good friends with Caroline. So she was telling Michael Rappaport that when she called Andy Cohen and was like, oh my God, you casted my friend Caroline Brooks for the Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm actually in Dubai. Andy was like, wait, what? Can you film a scene? And she said, Andy, I'm getting on a plane, but I'll be back in a couple of weeks. And yes, I'll film a scene. And then she told Michael Rappaport, listen, you know, I have a lot of business. I have a CMOS business and some sort of electronic company over in Dubai. So I'm planning on buying a house over there. So who knows? You never know if I would come back and maybe I might be a part of the Real Housewives of Dubai. Now, before I bring up Sarah, actually, I'll bring up Sarah right now. Hi, Sarah. You're muted.
I'm always doing that. Sorry. Hi.
You're loving the hair, Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Love the purple hair, Sarah.
It's been purple for a while, but they were doing like it was more subtle. And this time I told him, no, just make it brighter, make it darker. And
just go
I think he was nervous, and so he did like highlights of purple. So I think next time it's going to be even more purple. So before you could only see it when we were out in the sun.
I'm shaving my head and dyeing it blonde.
Yes, there you
go. Well, Zach told me to dye my hair blonde when he was super drunk the other night getting his hair bleached. And then I told him there were I have some pictures of when it was like over highlighted in like 2007 that I could send him. He's like, 2007? That's been a minute. And then I was like, oh my God, he was in diapers then. Like,
he wasn't in diapers. He was 14. But Sarah,
I'm sorry. That's right. Y'all are the same age. Yeah.
Welcome to the panel. I do have questions, and I want to ask all three of you the same question. Okay. Because we know Andy Cohen loves him some Phaedra Parks, but Kandi Burruss has made it known she will quit the Real Housewives of Atlanta if they ever bring Phaedra back. Now, Phaedra is going to be on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2 Ex-Wives Club. And I'm wondering, do you think it could be a possibility? Because now with Caroline Stanbury coming from the Ladies of London, and when we saw Frederick Eckling go from $1 Million Listing New York to $1 Million Listing LA, we're starting to see these little crossovers, and we're seeing it with Southern Charm and Summer House. Do you think that Phaedra could potentially be joining the cast in the future? And is she someone you would want to see on the show? I'm going to start with you, Sarah, then I'm going to go to Krista, then Joe.
No, there are certain things that you don't come back from, and accusing someone of potentially trying to hard R someone and drug them. And then feeding that to somebody like Portia, who you know isn't going to put 2 and 2 together to save her life. And having Portia run with that for a while, that shows,
It's unforgivable.
I mean, to me, that's, I don't blame Kandi for not wanting her on the show. I don't blame, I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite. I'll probably watch her on like Girls Trip or something like that, where it's small as far as like.
But then why, if you're willing to watch her on that, then why not? Why wouldn't you be willing to watch her on Dubai?
I guess I'm just not going to invest long term in that. And I like Dubai the way it is. And Girls Trip, I may or may not. I like the rest of the girls. I think it'll be interesting. Phaedra, I just really bothers me as well with her holier than thou attitude that she had back then. So the one little I'm gonna like might give you a bit of my time to see if you've changed it all, but we're not really gonna know that because of editing and everything. I hate that she's on Girls Trip, to be honest, and I mean, I think it's a bunch of, she has a bunch of businesses. I don't know. She
might be setting herself up to be on the radar for the network and producers and Andy. And no, I see what you're saying. And honestly, Sarah, you're not the only one with that opinion of not necessarily wanting her back. I want to hear really quick too, Krista, what are your thoughts? Would you be willing to forgive Phaedra and entertain the idea of her coming to Dubai, or no?
You're asking the wrong person to forgive. No, I wouldn't. No, not at all. You can't. All right, like you never hand somebody the gun to shoot you with again. So I wouldn't want her on my show. I wouldn't want her in my. It's one thing to go be cordial and see her out here or there. Her and Kandi can wave or whatever. but to have her have to be forced to be around her, and it's not fair. And Candy's the one who brings in all the money. That reason, and I just feel like she's made her way through like marriage boot camp, and it was weird. She was weird on that, and then she's just showing up here and there with these weird faces. Like I feel like something's up with her. Like maybe she's not right, and I wouldn't trust her. I just think she's like a little too thirsty. Okay. She's coming up in Dubai. She's like, she's on this marriage with this guy that she doesn't even sleep with, and I'm just like,
she's drinking like a camel thirsty.
Yeah, her faces are very odd to me.
Joe, what are your thoughts? Would you entertain Phaedra coming back or no?
I don't care enough about Phaedra to either like or want her to be on any show, to be honest. Okay. So yeah, she's just
your give a damn is broken today.
It is. It's bucket. Sorry.
No, your give a damn is broken.
Well, maybe, but the two folks that you asked about, they're just not give a damnable, and the thing is, like, Dubai is giving us something different. It's giving us another level of extravagance. I just don't think objectively Phaedra fits that mold. So
I agree.
So even if I actually cared about her to be on a show, she still wouldn't be a good fit. But I wouldn't. I dare not go to that answer because I don't care about her to begin with. So
okay. So real quick before we end up kind of wrapping this up, I want to ask all of you one question. I know that first of all, thank you everyone for joining and becoming members. I'm so excited for the behind the scenes content, but we posted the Salt Lake City behind the scenes. Is that something, just so I know the proper stuff to post, would those behind the scenes kind of videos be what we would want for memberships?
Yeah.
I like her. I like when you guys talk about I like it, maybe like you and Jason talk about, I know you talked about how you guys met before, but like maybe like, I don't know, question and answer stuff. Like, because I always say like the best part of New York was like just talking about normal stuff, like everyday normal life stuff. Yeah. Because all we do, we talk about this stuff and it's fun and all, but like getting to know each other too. Like, I don't know, maybe stuff like that, more personal stuff. But that stuff's great too. I think I like behind the scenes stuff too.
And we're about to move again, so I'm sure that Jason's going to have the camera up for that.
There's a bunch of stuff going on. You guys have a bunch of stuff going on.
It doesn't stop over here. The madness. Somebody asked me the other day. They're like, where are you guys going next? I'm like, that's so funny that you asked, because normally I find out a week and a half before, so I have no idea. And then Zach's like, do you think we'll be able to do the live tour kind of South Florida situation in August? And I'm like, well, now I'm hearing that we might be going to New York in July or August, or we might be going to, like, there's so many things up in the air that I was like, maybe we'll keep that for spring or something. I don't know what's going on.
And Bravo Cons in October.
I mean, after recent events, I don't know if I'll be allowed to go to Bravo Con.
Wait, what? Oh my God, I missed something. What I miss?
No, I mean, I don't know. I was trying to do like a co-hosting situation for BravoCon, but I don't know if Bravo is going to love me after the Jen Shaw interview. So we'll see. I don't know.
Let's put out.
They should love you.
All good, positive. Let's just.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you and Jason do pranks on each other?
Oh.
No.
Dang.
But I can listen. I love to prank, but Jason doesn't have the patience for it, so I don't know how that would go.
Oh, it would just be a one-sided thing. That could still be fun.
No, it's not, because my husband does it to me all the time, and I hate him for it.
All right.
Well, you know what was funny? Like when you did that behind the scenes and opened the door and saw what Jason was doing, I'm like, oh, would it be fun if you, Adam, actually didn't know what Jason was doing behind the scene, and it's like, ooh, surprise.
Oh, like we could make up whatever it is, like go see what he's doing right now. Like it would be like
that would be my worst nightmare.
Go live.
It will just be a members only thing, right? No.
Adam's in the shower.
No. Okay. No.
That's OnlyFans, not members only.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Sorry. My bad.
That's the next level.
I would say pay me more than $9. Yeah, pay me more if you want all that extra.
All of a sudden, I'm trying to Larsa Pippen my ass onto OnlyFans. No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
But
you're naked.
I did want to say we have a few more pre-records dropping. I know I didn't want to do a full Real Housewives of Atlanta recap today, and I'll probably just tie it into Hot Messy Topics. But I'm so happy to be back on Mondays and Fridays with Hot Messy, and then of course we'll be back for Dubai and Beverly Hills, those live recaps. And thank you to all three of you for joining in and calling in even larger curves. I appreciate all of you guys so much, and I will be dropping a pre-record in the next few minutes.
Okay, love you guys.
We love you guys. Bye, Sarah Bahu Baker. Bye, Joe Mendoza. Bye, Krista.
Love you, Joe.
Bye, love you too, Krista.
Joe's like, okay. All right. Up and Adam, we can't like the video when Adam leaves callers backstage all show. No, that's not. I'm not leaving callers backstage all during the show. I take callers, and then if they come up and they're in the wait list and if I don't get to them fast enough and they drop down and I have other callers in, I try to transition the conversation. And if they drop down, it's not that I'm ignoring them. They dropped out. So just to make that clear. But guys, thank you again so much for everybody who joined, and welcome back to Hot Messy Topics. If you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. I showed you guys at the beginning, and obviously, as you can see from the banner below, that we have officially started memberships. We were talking about our behind the scenes to Salt Lake City. Definitely go check it out. Give me your opinion. And if you are joining memberships, drop me a comment, message me, DM me. Let me know what kind of content you want, because I just want to keep it going, you know? I just want to keep putting out as much content as possible. We always have a camera around. Jason's always recording stuff, and we're always in the studio. But when we're not in the studio, we have a lot of fun. So I don't mind sharing it with everyone. I love you guys, and stay tuned for the next pre-record. Love you. Bye. 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 Happy